Welcome back for a reunion recap. Beverly Hills.
Reunion number two. This is one reunion where I don't feel like they could have done two. It needs a third.
See that I questioned it with Beverly Hills, but I think the reality is that whenever there's a season where there's a lot of like fighting and stuff, but then also like other good content, they can stretch it
Yeah.
to three.
Well, no, I think just Kathy and Jennifer walking in brought whole comic relief.
Oh yeah.
I mean, both of them are there for comic relief. Without a doubt, Jennifer Tilly is my spirit animal. And the reason why is because, first of all, I kind of do the same thing she does and just sit there and I'm kind of the Greek choir in the side. And what do I always have with me, Andrew?
That's true.
What?
Snacks. Well, chocolate.
Snacks. I
Chocolate.
always have snacks. Always.
But
You
no
can never have
offense,
enough snacks.
I don't think you're the one sitting there like
Okay, I might be the one that, well, I might be the pot stirrer, but I don't get in the fight. I just
you
stir
you
the
wear
pot.
you wear a couple different hats.
Oh, maybe I do.
Standing to the side and making people laugh is not really a hat that I've seen you wear too much because you like you like to
Be in the
get
middle of
involved
the
in other
action.
things. Yeah, yeah.
Which housewife would you think I'm the most like?
Um
Any season. You got to think about it.
maybe maybe
Okay.
um maybe Vicky a little bit.
A little Vicky Gunvalson. I
Yeah.
would agree. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like that you can get
Probably.
angry when really mad. And usually because it takes you a while to get there, when you
Yes.
do, it's really angry.
Yes. True.
But that you also are smart and you're a good business person and like you know your stuff. Like
I'm glad you didn't say Caroline Manzo. Thank God.
no, but your sister, my mother might be a good Caroline Manzo.
Oh, yeah. She's Caroline Manzo.
Except with
Yeah.
the not the let me tell you about my family, but about like thinking they know everything. And the haircut's a little reminiscent too. Um,
Mm. Yes.
Anywho,
Okay. Well,
what do you think? So do you I
this is what I think
I
went
think
down.
you've influenced me to think that there's really a relationship
Oh,
between
there is. No, without a doubt. This is what went down. I'm going to guess that Kyle talked to the women off screen
okay.
and said, "This is a difficult situation for Portia, that we don't want to go public, public, public because she's a 16-year-old girl and she's having a tough time with her parents separating. We don't need to go completely public with Morgan. So we're not going to talk about Morgan. I think it's, oh, no, no. I don't think it's actually Portia. I think she told the women because you heard her say, I will defend my family. If they don't want something, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go by their wishes. And I've had a feeling it's Portia all along that she's using as the excuse why Morgan can't be talked about, not that that's actually the real deal. That's my opinion.
I think that the point that I gathered from this reunion that I thought is interesting to think about is that the conversation around a famous musician
Yes,
compared to someone who's on a reality show is different.
correct.
You there's one thing that we don't this is the thing I think why I like reality TV is that we see their real life
Life.
or like their life, right? Versus them playing a role, performing a song, all that. Now, the reality is, I just think that Morgan didn't realize how, like, I don't think Morgan even realized what she was walking into because
Agreed.
sometimes we forget that, like, this show, though Kyle's great, but like fans and viewers have been fans of Kyle and Maurizio and their family. Like
True.
they're a unit, like they're a couple, like they're so I think that part of it is that there was definitely people that probably thought that Morgan was like some people I think thought that Morgan was breaking up Maurizio and Kyle because like she was friendly with Morgan even before they announced their separation.
True.
And so like again, I think that
She doesn't
you
want
know
Morgan coming off looking like a homewrecker.
In a way, a little bit. And I just think Morgan received commentary from fans that was different than what she's ever seen before being in the public eye.
Of course.
And I don't care what
So
people
now you
say.
do believe that they're together.
I
Because what
believe, I believe that maybe it was one of those where like they were like, I believe at the beginning they were friendly, or there might have been a business
I
connection
know
or
you
just
said that all the
a
time, right?
music
But
thing. Like
she
I think to
slid into her
I don't think that
DMs. She
Kyle
stalked
started
her.
with, like, I don't think that Kyle started knowing that Kyle's sober, knowing that she's gone through a lot of like
And
self-discovery.
why is she sober?
Um, I
Because
don't know.
Morgan's sober.
No, it was
Why'd
before
she get
that.
tattoos? Because Morgan got tattoos.
The
Why did
tattoos
she
thing,
work out?
maybe.
Because Morgan worked out.
She's
Mm.
always worked out.
Yeah, but not to the degree she does now.
Okay, but like I know so many people that aren't famous that get sober and they work out. I'm not one of those people. I just like tracksuit. But the reality is that I have a feeling that it maybe started for a non-romantic reason. And then, it was
Feelings
convenient.
developed.
Convenient for Kyle. Like, imagine she probably saw it safe too. Oh, I can get attention from someone that might be attracted to me. And because they're a woman and because I'm divorcing a man, no one's going to think that it's anything more than being a friend. But then maybe Kyle developed feelings. Maybe they got too close. And then, of course, people, see what they see. So then that went out the window. But I have a feeling I still stand by this idea that at first it was very innocent. And then
It
I'm
doesn't matter
sure
if they're
Morgan felt
having, they're
Kyle's beautiful.
together.
Kyle's
Yeah.
beautiful. And I'm gonna say something because I can.
Morgan needed a mother
All
and
you
Kyle needed
listeners,
another
I'm gonna
daughter.
say something because I can. Because even though I'm not big, and Aunt knows this, about being labeled as part of the LGBT LMNOP community, I am still in that box that they like to put me in. So I can say this about lesbians, whereas any of y'all straight people can't.
Okay.
There's not a ton of lesbians out there that are as beautiful as Kyle Richards. I'm gonna call a
Agreed.
thing a thing.
No, that's
So
true. Yeah.
and again, Morgan, I'm
Name
not a
them.
big fan of tattoos. I'm not a big fan of piercings and stuff. I'm not like that, right?
Right.
It's not about that. That to me doesn't show me off. I don't find that super attractive. But I think behind all that, Morgan, I believe, is a pretty attractive girl. And I think that she probably is attracted to Kyle. She was getting attention from her. She's going through a divorce. And I'm sure there was a moment where Morgan was probably like, of all the people in the world, why is this broad focusing on me? Like, I'm sure she had those conversations with herself. And I think that they never had a real conversation of like, wait, why are we getting close? And I think Morgan assumed it was because Kyle had the hot for her.
I think you're so wrong.
But I know how this works with couples that like
Oh,
relationships
same
same sex,
sex.
where
Okay.
like they're just not on the same page, and that like trust me, I have had moments before when I was younger where I really thought that this straight guy that was giving me attention, that I was gonna
Was.
get him to flip.
Oh, okay.
And I
Morgan
think
got her
that
to flip.
maybe,
You
and
get a special
again,
prize when you cause a straight person to flip?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think
I
Morgan's
don't
got any, I
either.
don't think she's received any prize from this.
I'm going to tell you what I think happened because I've heard your analogy now.
Yep.
I think what happened was she stalked her and she brought Morgan around as like her friend, because she was there to sing at the girl's anniversary who committed suicide and they went to get tattoos together. And you saw Morgan, and it was her way to introduce Morgan slowly into the group. And
Mhm.
then it turned out that it blew up on her. Kyle thought she was just going to be able to slide Morgan in like underneath the rug a little bit, just, nobody would notice. Instead, it blew up.
Yeah.
And Morgan didn't like the attention because she might have thought it was negative attention, though most
Yeah.
celebrities think any attention is good attention, bad, negative,
But
or
she's a
positive.
musician with a talent, so she doesn't need it.
I understand, but they still like the publicity because it made her, as they said, Kyle made Morgan a household name. I would
No, she
never have
didn't. The
known
show did.
who the show, but without Kyle, I would never know who Morgan Wade is ever.
Well, I think Morgan owes it more to the other women. If it was up to Kyle, then no one would have known who Morgan really was.
Okay, but this is what I think happened. Morgan had an adverse reaction emotionally, like, I can't do this again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Kyle decided, because she's not going to go to the women and say, Morgan can't do this again, because all of those women will say, well, tough on Morgan, because Morgan's a grown woman. She
What if
should
it
be
has
able to
nothing to do
wait,
with the
wait, wait. I want
show?
to finish.
Or what if it
And
has
then
nothing to
she
do with Morgan?
said, you know what? Out of respect for Portia, we are keeping this private for the moment. And you know what? If you came to me and said, because I don't want to upset Portia, please keep my relationship with Morgan private, I wouldn't say a word. And I think that's how Kyle manipulated them. And when Kyle went to Garcelle and Sutton and told them she told them that we haven't heard, it's secret.
Yeah.
And Sutton said, well, that was a chess move. I think that's why. That's
Maybe
my
she used that as
opinion.
the excuse, but I think the real reason
No,
behind
I
the
don't
scenes,
think Portia's the real reason. I think
no,
she
no,
used Portia as an excuse.
totally. And that might be true. I think the real reason behind the scenes, honestly, if she's dating Morgan, is Morgan probably has a hard time with the fact that her and Mauricio were not even thinking about getting divorced.
Well, that could be too, but I want to tell you, she said to Sutton or to Dorit or whichever one, well, I didn't, this is exactly what she said. Um, she said that I didn't get into trouble with Morgan. She
Yeah.
said, I didn't. I'm going to tell you something. You can't get into trouble with me and a girlfriend. It's not a word you use. You
Got it.
only say, I'm going to get in trouble with my husband. Or you would say, oh, I'm going to be
I
in
don't even know what
trouble
that
with
all means. Like,
Brad. Or like, I'm going to be, because it's a partner thing where you talk about trouble. I don't ever say, oh, I'm
oh,
going
I
to
hear
be
what
in,
you're saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I never say, oh, I'm going to be in trouble with one of my girlfriends. No, because whatever, it's girlfriend crap. But I would say, ooh, I'm going to be in trouble with my husband. You would
I
say
mean,
that about somebody you are dating or in a relationship with. You won't say that about a regular girlfriend. I would never
the
say I'm
fact
going to
is
be
that
in
we're
trouble.
still like talking about it because it's really not a big deal. I really don't
See,
care about
no,
Morgan
I
at
don't either.
all.
And here, what else? Kyle wants it both ways. Kyle wants to be with Morgan, and and this goes in all of her life. She wants Dorit to love her. She wants Sutton to love her. She wants to still be married to Mauricio while she's sleeping with Morgan. She wants her girls to be happy while we had barely even saw them this season.
Oh yeah, no, no, no.
I
Listen,
mean,
that
she kind of wants it always. She wants Kathy there because she thinks Kathy gives her a little back. But in another side, she always has that look when Kathy speaks, like, oh, what is she going to say next? Why? Because Kathy knows her secrets. And she knows Kathy can say anything at any time. And it comes off as like, oh, I didn't know. Just like we saw in the previews when she goes, well, I asked my daughters if they wanted me to be a lesbian too, because it would make you feel better. And everybody goes like this.
yeah, I
Kathy has
mean,
a way of doing it in a way so manipulative, but does it in a way that you don't even know you were getting
but
insulted. Just
part of
like
me
when
also
she
feels
said,
like what if
"It's
Kyle had a
PJ."
relationship? What if Kyle had a relationship with Morgan and it's done?
I think
And
we'd
be,
hear about it.
well, because of the fact that she doesn't want to hurt Morgan now by being like, it wasn't that big of a deal. You guys blew it out of
I
proportion.
don't know. It
It did
was when she
happen.
said, I didn't get in trouble with Morgan. That's when I knew.
Yeah,
That's
I
just my,
mean, I will
that's how I
also, I
feel.
wouldn't put it past her if, like, again, Kyle wants to keep getting paid by Bravo. Do you think Kyle would ever come out and say her team didn't think it was good for her brand?
She can't say that.
She can't. So
She
that could be
can't
the
say
case
that.
too. That could be the case too. We have no idea. I don't know how it would be to be like an actual mainstream country music singer and being on the Real Housewives in this capacity. It's much different when Kyle invites, like
Are there many lesbian country western singers?
well, we only said one. There's that rocker or whatever her name is. I don't know.
KD
But
Lane?
no, we talked
Oh.
about her before. We don't need to
Oh,
Google it on our
Melissa
phones.
Etheridge.
Yeah, we
Melissa
don't need
Etheridge.
to.
Katie
I
Lane
saw you
is
getting your
too.
phone ready to be like,
No, it's
"Hey
not. I have my
Siri,
notes.
who are the lesbian country western stars?"
No, I was doing my notes. I wanted to see. Um, I want to go to PK and to Dorit
Okay,
and to Sutton. And I
let's
do
get going
before I
then,
leave
because we've been
that, I
talking
want
about
to
Kyle for
say
15 minutes.
Kathy Hilton has the greatest glam squad ever. Ever.
Yeah,
She's got people rubbing her feet, doing her hair. I mean, she literally is treated like a queen.
Yeah.
Amazing. Dorit thinks that PK tells her everything. Honey, he doesn't.
I
And
just
I
don't know
want to,
why they don't just admit Kyle, Maurizio, PK, and Dorit, you've been friends for years. I don't think there's anything wrong if PK's like, yeah, but Kyle, Dorit annoys me. She does this all the time. Like, that's actually not, couples do that all
I
the
don't
time that
think
are
it's a big
friends.
deal that they're talking to each other.
About the other person, it's not like they were
Yeah.
like talking to each other and it was like this big dark thing. I don't think Kyle and PK were talking about anything more than Dorit's changed a little bit or Dorit needs this expensive thing or that thing. It's not like, oh, PK cheated on Dorit and Kyle knows that and is taking it to the vault. It's not that
And
serious.
cheated with Kyle because number one, Kyle's a lesbian now.
No,
So
it's
she doesn't
not.
want
That's
Dorit.
not what it is. No
I
one
mean,
thinks
she
that.
doesn't want
No
PK.
one thinks that.
I do. I know she's a lesbian now.
Yeah, but no one thinks that Dorit and Maurizio or Kyle and PK hooked up. Like, that's not what it
No,
is.
no, no. But the way Dorit is talking to Kyle, it's almost as if she's insinuating
No,
that
I
they
think she's
have
saying you
a,
should have told me everything he told you, regardless of what it is. I don't think it has to do anything with them
well,
together.
you know what they say, the enemy of your enemy is your friend.
Oh, yeah.
And Kyle and let's face it, PK wants nothing to do with Dorit, and Kyle and Dorit are on the outs. So the enemy of your enemy is your friend.
Well, before the reunion, Kyle and Dorit were not on the outs. I can't keep up.
Well, that's a whole other matter. I don't know about that, but
What do you mean?
um,
They were on the outs the whole first half of the season, and then they started to get better throughout, and now they're back on the outs.
yeah, well, they were going to be back on the outs because they all watched the show and they start to hate
Exactly.
each other when they watch the show. Now, it was kind of sad when Kathy came out, and I'd forgotten that Kim was in for a psychiatric hold
Oh,
back
yeah.
in September. And they said that she's still, not
Hmm.
doing well. Poor Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
I feel bad for Kim. I wanted to mention Kim. Um, okay, what do you got?
that's it. I don't really have
You
much. We
do?
talked about Kyle and Dorit, or Kyle and Morgan for like 20 minutes.
Oh, okay. We have to talk about Sutton and Dorit at the end.
Yeah.
Of you don't even live on a, if you ask me, your street isn't that good. I mean, like you're insulting people who live in Bel Air. Let me tell you something. Every street in Bel Air is good, even if it has two lanes.
No, no, that's not what Dorit meant.
Yeah, that's what she meant.
She's reacting though to her big wallet comment.
Of course she is. And it was wrong. And she said she regretted
Exactly. So
that
that's all
comment.
Dorit is saying. Dorit is not comparing her to herself or talking about other people. Dorit's saying, like, listen, what she should have maybe said is, Sutton, come on. You and I both know people that are 10 times richer than both of us put together. Neither one of us are in a position to be
But
telling each other
but
about how
here's the
big our
thing.
wallets are.
Dorit really doesn't have any money. We all
That's
know that,
fair. Neither does
you know?
Sutton if her husband didn't give it to her every month.
But he does.
Exactly. I
And
get
she
that.
got a baseball
But
team
the
and all
reality
this
is she
other
doesn't
stuff
get that she
coming
doesn't have
in.
the kind of money that would that she doesn't have the kind of money that would give her permission to say my wallet's bigger. Like
You know what though? Her houses are probably paid for.
I get that. But
And
she what she should have said is
she's got one in Georgia too that was pretty fine.
what she should say to her is, Dorit, you know what? I don't have any unpaid bills. I'm not in debt. I got my life together. Why don't you pick on someone who is a little bit more in your reality? You
Okay.
know, like because wallet fits makes it seem like you're in this like cultural elite status. Sutton, you are not.
No, she's not either, because there's a whole other level.
Exactly. That was what I think Dorit's point was. Now,
Hmm.
what Dorit's missing is what Sutton basically meant was you have financial problems, I don't. So why don't you pick on someone that, is a little bit more aligned with you?
Yeah, but problems between people rarely has to do with finances, unless they're your
Of
partner.
course. Of
You
course.
know what I mean?
No, no.
I will say one thing. I would never insult somebody's like throw wealth up against them.
I agree.
Especially, but they're all fakes here. Every single one of them. And it's like when they were going after Kyle about Sutton about her drinking. I thought you all drink, for God's sakes. What's her name's drinking the vodkas with the 3 lemons
Of
squeezed, no
course.
cockers. I mean, they all drink. Other seasons, I mean, Lisa Renna never really drank too much. She always stayed there.
Sometimes you forget that they film for like 10 hours straight and then about 30 minutes shows up on the episode. There's so much that happens that we don't
Yeah,
see.
I know that, but I think it's rude to call Sutton out on her drinking when they all drink.
Yeah.
Every one of
I
them,
mean, but I
all of
also think
them.
if it walks like a duck and it looks like a duck, it's a duck. So
So do you think
Sutton most
Sutton
likely
has
had
a
alcohol in
drinking
their bags.
problem?
I think
Oh
that
yeah.
she must have had some
Well,
moments
she
that
takes
made it seem
roadies,
that way.
remember? She had a
Yeah, it must
roadie
have
last
seemed
year.
that way.
Yeah, she
Like,
probably
I mean,
does. Well, what else she got?
they didn't just pull it out of their ass.
Ooh, yeah.
So
All right, we got one more and then we're done.
thank God I'm over the show.
I,
We will
I'm not.
definitely be reviewing next Gen NYC
Oh
though.
yeah, that looks interesting. I'm trying to figure out who half the people are on that show, and I couldn't. I mean,
Ariana
I know.
Bierman, they say she's on the show, but no one looks like Ariana Bierman. So I'm gonna have to go look to see which one's gotten the most work done. We
Oh, it
know it's
was.
not the trans girl. We know it's not
I don't
Brooke.
know whose child that is.
It's not a child. They're not all
Oh,
children.
not all of them are from Bravo Celebrities? No,
No.
because Candy's daughter's on it.
Yeah, okay, we don't
Riley.
need to go through. We got to wrap up.
No, but I know, but
Everyone
Riley's
knows
on it,
that watched
Gia's
it.
on it,
Yeah.
Brooks is on it,
And Ariana.
Ariana.
And then there's like three other people. There's like 8
Oh,
people.
I thought they were
Oh,
all somebody's
no.
kids. Oh, it will be interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. All right, guys. One more episode of Beverly Hills.
And we also know that the boy says, the other boy goes, you wouldn't be on the show if it wasn't for me. So, to one of the people. So,
Oh.
there
Mm.
you go. All right.
All
Love you
right.
guys. Follow us, subscribe, comment, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.